X, X2, X3, X4, X5, X6, X7, X8, Command Mission. All of them quality games, right? Well, okay, not all of those are absolute gems, but some of them certainly are. And you know what other games are also pretty good? The Mega Man Xtreme games on Game Boy Color. I don't care what Welltall548 thinks about it on GameFAQs. I think the games are pretty competent. Let's take a closer look at the first game, Mega Man Xtreme. That's gnarly, dude. Mega Man X is a genuine classic on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or the SNES. I think we all know that. It effectively combined the epic platforming formula made famous by the NES Mega Man series with an even more futuristic environment and a much deeper and more involving storyline than simply going after Dr. Wily. Again. Mega Man X was rough, it was tough, and it left a strong enough dent in the gaming atmosphere to warrant 7 sequels and many additional remakes and spin-offs. So when it was announced that the X series would have a portable version, it sounded awesome to have Mega Man X on the go, until the PSP remake 5 years later, which is awesome. Mega Man Xtreme, the title of which is extreme enough with its rad misspelling, actually doesn't rehash the old storylines. Yes, our main characters, X, Zero, and Sigma, are all here in full form with their usual roles, with Sigma being the main antagonist and the leader of the Maverick movement. Oh, sorry, the Marverick movement. Who proofread this? But generally uninteresting and easily forgettable characters are also introduced here, after an extremely sluggishly paced introduction, to the tune of about 4 to 5 words per screen. We become privy that some shadow hunters have been hacking into the world's mother computer, particularly this one fella named Techno.
Nobody listen to Techno!
They all seem to be interested in disabling the effects of the mother computer and preventing any opposition to Maverick rule. There's also a dude named Geemel. Geemel? What an amazing name. Every child should be named Geemel from now on. And he sounds like a dork too. I've been waiting for you, X. Oh, and Vile shows up once in the introductory stage and is subsequently never heard from again. Oh wait, no, now he's called Vava. That's right, apparently the localization team failed to research that he had already been called Vile in 2 separate games prior. Vava? Baba? Boba? Fett? Well, he sure does look like Boba Fett. Secret revealed! Your first goal, after making your way through a shortened version of the infamous highway scene, with a couple of moments featuring X wondering why this place is so familiar, X must venture into the computer core for a showdown with good old you-know-who, Uma-Mau-Mau. You actually destroy him in this form, and he's never heard from again. It's not that easy though from here on in, because blocking your way is battle data from Mavericks he defeated in the past, courtesy of both Mega Man X and Mega Man X2 for that legendary SNES. 4 stages and their respective Mavericks lay ahead, and you must go through and pick them off one by one, snagging each boss's special weapon upon defeat and using it to gain the upper hand against, well, somebody else. That's not a new formula, that's been here since Mega Man 1 way back in 1987. Ooh. The stages are built largely on the design of their console counterparts, so don't expect a lot of surprises or fresh moments here. Then it's on to the core, which looks quite a bit like Sigma's Fortress. In the normal, standard difficulty mode, we get to revisit the likes of Chill Penguin, Storm Eagle, Spark Mandrill, and Flame Stag.
But boss, that's only 4!
Yeah, that's true, that's only 4. You won't even get to meet the others until you complete the game once, and then move ahead to hard mode, where the first 4 Mavericks are replaced with 4 others. Armored Armadillo, Morph Moth, Magna Centipede, and dang it, Wheelgator! I hate that guy. I'm grateful they pushed Bubble Crab aside. That guy's level stunk. Oddly enough, the game randomly pulls Fortress mini-bosses and reuses them, like Rangda Bangda from the first game, or that super annoying Sergi's Wall from the second. Wait, why is he here? He seemed very important in the plot of X2, but he just kind of exists here. That's kind of weird. And should this not be enough to keep you on your toes, The Extreme mode afterward will try to challenge you further by having you tackle all 8, while making life go by more quickly by omitting any story sequences whatsoever. So there is replay value if you want to see everything. At least by restarting with the same save file, you can keep your old items and upgrades. Thanks, Capcom. X generally controls as expected from a handheld. Not quite as precise as the Super Nintendo version, which is fine considering the more limited button layout, but you can get from point A to point B without causing a stink. There are still flaws that I just can't overlook though. X has a serious problem with the dash jump. He really can't seem to pull it off very well here. I was never really effectively able to perform a useful dash jump unless it was off a wall. It seems so easy in console games, why is it such a challenge here? Granted, dash jumping isn't necessary to complete the game, but boy could it have saved me some trouble. Another issue I had was that when he takes damage, X has a horrible tendency to turn the other way. Face your problems head on, bruh! If you're looking to perform a counterattack immediately, forget it. You'll be facing the wrong way. Oh, and Sigma's second stage can bite my butt. Sticking extremely closely to the formula, you can still find hidden capsules. One of them is right in your path, hardly a qualification of being hidden, that provides armor or weapon enhancements. I'll tell you now, until you find the full armor upgrade, which decreases the amount of damage taken significantly, you're gonna have a difficult time. Yeah, you are. Enemies can take a severe chunk of X's life bar early on, but once I found the armor upgrade, the game became a lot easier and more manageable. Like a new hairstyle from First Choice. Yay! It's not a cakewalk by any means, but I think you'll be able to handle it. Yeah, you specifically, you. You'll also get to find heart tanks to increase your puny health bar, and sub-tanks to fill up for backup energy. The developers added one new feature exclusive to the hard and extreme modes of play: Zero Scramble programs. These are basically free tickets to call Zero in to perform some special moves, and then disappear. You can get these from Dr. Light capsules, but they're each coupled with a physical upgrade you must first possess before you can obtain the Zero program. Go destroy the evil X! Yeah, the evil one!
Nope.
The saving system may also be your saving grace, so to speak, and it may make the game a bit easier. In addition to being able to save your game between stages, including the Sigma Fortress stages, there are also several auto-save points in every level, which not only act as checkpoints, but if you need to turn off your system and return later, you can load from the last auto-save. But only once, after which time that file disappears from memory and I don't really know where it goes. Cleveland. It's also solid insurance against battery failure. And believe me, those autosave points are abundant. You can't go a solid minute without encountering one of those things. They're everywhere! It's unfortunate that the level designs were generally recycled from the first 2 Mega Man X games, though with a bit of modification due to the small screen. Technical limitations also required them to be scaled down a bit, unless you die often, as I openly admit to doing. For the Game Boy Color, the game looks decent. X and friends look a little too chibi, and his sprite doesn't change until he gets all of the armor and weapon upgrades, but the areas look about as good as they could on such limited hardware. The character portraits during cutscenes are well drawn too. It's also a nice feature that the game can be played on both the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color, although I gotta suggest the latter for the better experience. On the old gray brick, the game looks okay, but the addition of a color splash adds more than I realized until I went backwards and oh no! Vava, you're no longer vivid! The soundtrack has also been essentially carbon copied, and unfortunately, hearing these tracks coming from inferior hardware made me more aware than ever of how limited the Game Boy's sound hardware is. Even on the Game Boy Color, the sound quality is clearly aged, but at least they tried to make the tunes sound reasonable. If you ever wondered what Storm Eagle's rockin' theme would sound like on inferior hardware, now's your chance to experience the wonder! Behold! It's like Eddie Van Halen's in my living room, and he's putting on a crappy show! Despite these downgrades and petite flaws, Capcom didn't entirely screw it up. There is a decent platformer nestled in here, and you know what? I generally had a good time with it. Yet playing a Mega Man X game on the chewy little Game Boy Color just feels odd and unnatural, like wearing a hemp sweater. It has the distinction of being the first game to even attempt to bring Mega Man X gameplay to a handheld, And I guess we can't blame them for trying. Mega Man Xtreme, however, isn't the real Mega Man experience. So check out the console series first, and then consider this as a slightly off-kilter anomaly. And then they made a sequel! Thank you for watching. Are you an extreme person? Then be extreme by liking this video, sharing it to all your friends, enemies, and infants, and of course, subscribing to the channel. Stay tuned for the conclusion of our extreme adventures. A brain. Okay, that's funny.